LA has become a woke.
What makes a DEI?
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna be very clear. That
You're
is
not
patently
understanding.
racist.
Let me be very clear to you first. What I'm saying is there are large numbers.
You're calling someone who is democratically elected a DEI hire.
Let me finish. I'm telling you what I mean by that.
Woke lefty Lamarck Hill gets torn apart by Jillian Michaels, Piers Morgan, and the rest of this panel when it comes to the LA wildfires. Let's see how this goes down.
Her city's burning, and when she came back, she was jumped by a very good journalist from Sky News here in the UK, David Blevins, and the response was pathetic. Let's take a look.
Madam Mayor, David Blevins from Sky News in the UK. Fire chiefs say that they're really stretched to the limit and running out of water. What have you got to say to that? Have you no response to that? Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
I mean, I'm sorry, Gillian, that was just so pathetic, wasn't it? I mean, she's the mayor of Los Angeles. Say something.
It's absolutely outrageous. And again, I can't speak to the DEI component because I don't really know the history of who they did or didn't hire. I'm currently under the impression that the fire chief wanted more bodies, no matter what color, what gender, or what sexual orientation. And if I'm wrong about that, please educate me. With that said, Karen Bass is incompetent. I don't care if it's because she's a woman of color. She's just flat out incompetent. When your fire chief writes you a letter in December of 2024, after all of northern Malibu has just burned down again, and says, do not cut my budget, it will be a catastrophe, you don't cut the budget. I'm absolutely outraged and disgusted. It is gross negligence, period. And then you have nothing to say when you're questioned about it? What are you doing in Ghana? You are a local, you're a mayor. You're not an ambassador.
That's ridiculous.
You don't work for the federal government. What is going on?
Yeah,
I mean, we could point to so many of these things. It's just outrageous.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think she's been completely incompetent and exposed as incompetent. In fact, all her public utterances make me cringe. Let me bring Michael back in here.
Completely.
I mean, I want to play a clip, Michael. This is from the fire department chief, Kristen Crowley, who, as things stand, to me, sounds the most credible of all of them when she speaks. Let's take a listen.
Did the city of Los Angeles fail you and your department and our city?
It's my job to stand up as a chief and exactly say, justifiably, what the fire department needs to operate to meet the demands of the community.
Did they fail you?
That is our job, and I tell you, that's why I'm here. So let's get us what we need so our firefighters can do their jobs.
Did they fail you?
Yes.
I mean, she couldn't be clearer there, and I believe her. You know, I mean, no one has actually refuted what she said, and she hasn't been fired. So, Michael, I'm doing the maths with my old journalism hat on, and it's coming up pretty well for her and pretty badly for the elected officials.
That's absolutely right. I think she's been amazing during this crisis. I think that she's been honest with the residents of LA. I think that we really trust our fire chief here after all of the appearances she's made. And as it relates to the debate about DEI, I agree with you, Piers. I don't care what color she is, what gender she is. The fact that she's a woman doesn't matter to me. She's doing an incredible job.
Right.
And the fact that she's being called a DEI hire is actually pretty frustrating. And the fact that that's what some people in the media are using to spin it, because she was in the fire department for 22 years. She's incredibly qualified. She's clearly really good at PR, and I think she's really good at her job. So
I don't think she's a
debate.
DEI hire. I've got to say, Karen Bass.
People are saying that.
Karen Bass, though, is a different matter. She smacks to me of a DEI appointment in the sense.
These people have no one else but themselves to blame for people who may not have been hired for DEI purposes. And listen, 22 years ago, the term DEI might not have existed then, but there was still affirmative action, which is the original name of DEI before it transformed to DEI. So we still don't know whether or not she was still an affirmative action hire or whatnot, or some kind of diversity. She could still very well be a diversity hire. With that said, listen, I have no idea what kind of job she does. Maybe she is great at her job. I have no idea, and I'm not here to dispute that. However, these people have no one else but themselves to blame for people who maybe weren't hired for DEI purposes getting accused of being a DEI hire. They're the ones who put gender and race and sexual orientation. They put all those qualities for the forefront, and they're the ones who champion affirmative action in DEI hires for various reasons. So that's one of the downfalls of DEI programs or affirmative action programs, is that you're going to have people who maybe are there because they're qualified. However, because you wanted us to look at their skin color or sexual orientation or gender so much, well, now that's all we see, and they're going to get accused of it. What do you guys think of that? Sound off in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell. That'll really be helping me out a lot. Let's continue.
How the hell does someone like that?
She was democratically elected.
Fine,
Pierce,
I know.
How does a democratically elected?
I know.
How was a democratically elected mayor a DEI hire?
Let me tell you how that happens in Los Angeles. Because until this fire, actually, and this may change everything for the political dynamic of Los Angeles. If you live in LA, as much as I have for the last 20 years, you are living in woke central. You're living in a place where a large number of the electorate literally would vote for people because of their skin color and because of their gender. We've already, just from that thing I read out, established she's an absolute liar when it comes to what she promised in her campaigning and what she then did as mayor in terms of getting on the first plane that came along to Ghana when she said she wouldn't leave America. So to me, the DEI thing runs endemically through some of these places. LA has become a woke.
What makes a DEI?
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna be very clear. That
you're
is
not understanding.
racist.
Let me be very clear to you first. What I'm saying is there are large numbers.
You're calling someone who is democratically
elected
a DEI hire.
Let me finish. I'm telling you what I mean by that. She won as a democratically elected person. That is true. She's the mayor. However, I think a lot of people voted for her because she was a black woman, not because she's any good at her job. That's an LA woke problem.
Do you have any evidence of that?
Yeah. Look how incompetent she is.
How many black people?
That was a great answer. Yeah, I mean, just look how bad at her job she is. Marc Lamont Hill acting shocked. Like, what? How can that be possible? Someone who's democratically elected, got elected for woke purposes. I mean, wasn't that the basis for the 2016 election with Hillary Clinton? Vote for her because she's a woman? And did he try to do it again with Kamala Harris? Oh, vote for her because she's a woman and she's a minority woman. Aha! And there's a lot of people that fall for that stuff. A lot of people voted for Hillary Clinton because she was a woman. Not because they felt she was going to do a great job, or they felt she was going to do a good job because she's a woman. So freaking Marc Lamont Hill over here trying to act all shocked, like, what? How is that possible? He knows how it's possible.
People have been mayor of LA. You say it's been decades of wokeness and skin color voting. How many black mayors have there been in the history of LA?
And worse and worse.
How many black mayors have there been in the history of LA, Piers?
I'm telling you, in her case, I believe she is woefully incompetent, should never have got the job, and people voted for her because in their head, all they're getting told all day long in places like Los Angeles is DEI, DEI, DEI. That's all they hear about.
What qualification was she lacking to be mayor?
Have you watched her pronouncements? Have you watched her pronouncement?
I've watched her for 12 years in Congress. I've watched her advance legislation. I've watched her have political experience prior to joining the U.S. Congress and being a standing member of Congress. She was qualified. You may not like.
No, I think she's incompetent. It's worse than that. I don't care if I like her or not.
Her political credentials are pretty strong. I think that her reaction to this crisis has been really bad, and this is the first time a lot of the world is seeing Karen Bass, unfortunately, and it's not good for her.
I agree.
But she was democratically elected.
That doesn't make her a DEI hire.
No, I'm talking about a culture.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
What I'm talking about, and Michael, I'll put this to you. It just seems to me, I have noticed in LA, it's been getting woker and woker and woker and woker. Right from the top of the political sphere, right the way down. It's tangible.
Absolutely, it's tangible. And it's funny because people like Marc Lamont Hill, they champion it. They're all for it. They're all for DEI hires. They're all for these woke policies because they feel it's correcting a lot of perceived injustices. But then as soon as these same DEI hires screw up And then people go, oh, well, they screwed up because they're DEI hire. Well, then these people like Mark Lamont Hill, they cry foul. And they go, whoa, what? Whoa, but why don't you stop looking at her skin color and actually see the job she does? Why don't you actually see the job that she does instead of looking at her skin color? The whole reason why we're looking at her skin color or her sexual orientation or what have you is because you guys put those qualities in the forefront over the quality of the job that she does. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, her being black is important, and then when she screws up and says, oh, it's because she was hired because she was black, then you cry about it. You can't have it both ways. If you want us to focus on the skin color, fine, we'll focus on the skin color. But when we start pointing out negative things due to the skin color, not due to the skin color, but you know what I mean. If we start pointing out, hey, look, this person screwed up, and hey, look at that, they're of this skin color, you can't sit there and complain about it. Piers Morgan, Jillian Michaels, both did a great job here. Mark Lamont Hill looking like an idiot as usual. But what do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy content like this. Click that notification bell. And if you did enjoy today's content, I got more Piers Morgan stuff. I got a whole bunch of other goodies for you on the screen right now to click on and enjoy.